Every once in a while, there's a piece of equipment that comes along that can change a business. I've had it happen one other time before. Today, we're gonna be looking at the Fusion PC gun. It's a spray foam gun from Graco. I'm gonna be giving you my opinion on it. I'm gonna be tearing it apart so that you can see inside of it what it looks like after 10 sets. I'm gonna let you know why I think that this is gonna change our business for the better, the psychology that goes into it, the way I'm thinking about our business and how this fits in. Hopefully it helps you out, and that's what we're gonna take a look at today, Inside Lighthouse. Before we take it apart, let's talk about the specs a little bit on this. And I just want to be really clear, I'm not an expert on Graco equipment or spray foam equipment, really, for that matter. There's a lot of guys that are much more educated, much more familiar with the inner workings of this. My experience is in the field and actually using it day to day, so let's talk about it a little bit. Idea behind the PC cartridge is that it's going to replace the fluid housing of your current spray foam gun. If you have an AP gun, an air purge Graco gun, there's a retrofit kit that you can just pop the retrofit kit to the existing handle and piston, and you're good to go. I did not have that luxury. I have never used a piece of Graco equipment before, let alone an air purge gun. So I had to order everything. All together with this gun, I'm into it about $3,300 brand new. And as you can see, I have put this thing to work. It's completely covered in foam. We spray in some pretty nasty environments, but to this date, I have not purchased any other O-rings, cartridges, anything for this since I bought it about a month and a half ago. Before we take this apart, let's talk about the specs a little bit. The Fusion PC gun sits on the same handle and piston air housing area as the original AP, the original air purge. So there's not much difference until you get to the head of the chamber. So once you get past this little knuckle that will fit it together, you have what they call their PC cartridge. And it's essentially replacing the fluid housing of your existing AP gun. And it's a little bit different from the original one. I don't have any experience with Graco equipment before this, but I do understand an air purge gun. But essentially it's taking the fluid component and making it far less complicated and far easier to rebuild. We're gonna go over that a little bit and show you the inside, but the whole idea was to get rid of the complicated, touchy part of the fluid housing that has the side seals, and to this date, I mean, I'm super impressed. I can't believe the engineering that goes into this thing. I can't believe the tolerances and how it's a better seeder of the side seals than I am. They say that you should get at least 10 sets through a cartridge, which when we started doing the math made a lot of sense. This currently has 10 sets through it and it's not done. So when we take it apart, it's gonna go right back together and go back into the field. But that's all kind of the boring stuff. You can certainly look into that stuff yourself. Let's take a look inside the gun and let's see what makes it special. So let's dive into this thing. I think we're the first video or the first YouTube channel to actually take this thing apart and show you what it looks like inside. So hopefully it helps. I'm gonna take off the cap on the front. You can see a little bit of the buildup. We really use this thing. You can see all the foam buildup. We spray in crawl spaces every day almost, it seems like. So even though it's 10 sets of material, it's a hard 10 sets. Let's go ahead and unscrew this here. And you can see the beginning of that cartridge inside of the gun. So the front part of this here is the mixing chamber. This has a true 10 sets through it. The only thing I've done is taken it out and wipe it off. When I took it out, there was no marring on the chamber and there was very little fluid of any kind. I think a lot of it was grease. They basically give you a way to get the cartridge out with this little screw. So I'm gonna go in here, get out of the way of the camera so you can see it. And as I turn this, it's actually just gonna pop the cartridge out. The reason why you're not going to see any fluid is because we run DOP. We flush the gun out every day when we're done. I think that's probably made us extend the life of this a little bit, but we do not use grease as of right now. We're only flushing it out with DOP. Let's take a look inside of there. You can see where those side seals are. It's pretty cool. Basically, this just slides on there like this, and it's perfect every time. Let's look at some of the wear on the chamber. You can see on this side, the A side has begun to set up a little bit along there. The V side's still looking good, but that DOP does a great job of getting that stuff out. But that's 10 sets, guys. That thing's still in good shape. I'm still gonna keep that. Let's take the mixing chamber out. This is real time, so I haven't taken this apart. This is the first time I'm taking this apart. That is barely any buildup. I don't even think those are scratches. They're not. They're just grease, or they're just some marks. Let's see the other side. See the B side. Let's just wipe this with my finger. I mean, it's 3 weeks of use. That's amazing. But there you have it, guys. That's what it looks like after 10 sets. So if you were in the field and you had to rebuild this, we're about a minute in on taking it apart. Let's see how long it takes to put it back together. And that's it, guys. It's pretty impressive. Hopefully this demonstration shows you that this thing is pretty game-changing for the spray foam community. The most important part of this video to me is you getting my experience as an applicator using this piece of equipment, because ultimately $3,300 is not a small amount of money. And I don't take that lightly. I want to be really clear. We're not sponsored by Graco. I'm not saying that you have to have this gun in order to make foam. My ultimate conclusion is that I would personally be a fool if I didn't use this gun. To date, I have not had to replace a cartridge due to a failure of the cartridge. It's been 100% user error. So I started off with 3 cartridges. The first one I dropped on the ground, and I figured that I didn't want any foam debris or anything inside of it, so I tossed it. The second one I took out, and I didn't flush the gun out before I took the cartridge out, and the A and the B side came together inside of the gun. I was really worried about having a crossover, so I tossed that one. That was the first week. That was actually the first 3 days I made that mistake. Since then, we have not had to replace a cartridge. We have not had to replace the chamber. In the last 3.5 weeks, we have put about 10 sets through this cartridge and chamber, and I have not lost my pattern that I couldn't drill it out to get back, which is amazing. I have taken it apart to check it out because I couldn't believe that it was still in good shape. And inside of it, there was no wear on the mixing chamber at all. There was no foam buildup on the mixing chamber. It was scratchless, which with my experience in the past, I would have sprayed for 2 days and had 3 or 4 deep gouges for my Boss equipment. I'm extremely grateful for Graco's engineering of this piece of equipment. It's changed my life as of right now. I'm less stressed. I have more confidence as a sprayer. And we hope that you're able to tap into that also. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to click that button. And we'll see you next time inside Lighthouse.